Good afternoon, Dr. Seetharaman.
Good afternoon.
Today on the Knowledge Management Forum, we would like to focus on the economic outlook released recently by the IMF. Please tell us, what is the current outlook on the global economy?
Well, it's spring meeting. Washington has released this recent report. It's quite encouraging. The global growth should move between 3.6 to 3.9 next year. This year 3.6% should be there. That's a very positive reflection. If you look at the split, the advanced economies should move from 2.2 to 2.5, and again, within the advanced economies, America is going to do 2.8 next year, 3%. UK is going to do 2.9 next year. It will go down to 2.5%, and the euro area should move between 1 to 1.2%, and emerging markets as a whole should move from 4.9% to 5.3%. Within the emerging market, if you look at the split, India should do between 5.4, 5.2 to 5.9 even, it's possible. Then it will move to 6.4%. China 7.5% this year, next year it will slow down to 7.3. Brazil 2.2 to 3%, and Russia should also be moving next year. This year should do around 2.2%, next year 3%. So the definite reflection is there. MENA, including Afghanistan and Pakistan, should be doing between 3 to 3.5%. The bigger picture is the global growth is getting reset. The emerging markets is getting redefined, but for certain pockets, the recovery is visible, but at the same time, deceleration is between the emerging market and developing economies, where vis-a-vis the developed market on account of QE tapering should be measured and managed and controlled.
Could you tell us about the current outlook on advanced economies?
The advanced economies are in the bigger forum in terms of overall current productivity. Incremental growth comes 2/3 only from emerging economies. If you look at the United States, still it remains to be seen the full recovery. Housing market recovery is slowing down, purchasing power parity is improving, unemployment still costing 6.7%. It can come down, but 2.8% in America this year, 3% next year is visible. When it comes to Europe, financial fragmentation is an issue, fiscal consolidation is an issue, debt to the overall GDP is an issue. Enlarged Europe is going through contagion impact, and by and large the recovery is at stake. That's why it is 1% this year, possibly 1.2% next year. When it comes to rest of the advanced economies, UK has done reasonably well in terms of austerity measures. 2.9% is a good recovery compared to last year, but again, there's no prospects for sustaining this 2.9%. So it might be 3%, 2.5% in my opinion rather. That's how the market makeup is all about. Germany is consolidating, but still it's not going to be isolated in terms of great momentum. It is moderate in terms of overall performance.
Dr. Seetharaman, what is the IMF outlook on emerging economies?
Emerging economies, China 7.5% this year, next year 7.3%. China manufacturing index today, what has been reflected has been encouraging, but trade is also encouraging. But what we need to see is, can they sustain this 7.5%? IMF dictum says 7.3%. India should do well next year, 6.4%, even if it is 5.4% this year, 5.4 to 5.9, but next year they can do better. Fiscal consolidation is an issue. Current account deficit fix, they have to do it, and also they have to reduce the inflation. Political stability, they improve the investment climate, they have better infrastructure investments in that case, then it will create more momentum in the economy. Political stability is a major concern. We need a stable and functional parliament. Election is happening now as we speak. It remains to be seen how far they will consolidate. Russia with Ukraine, contentious Crimean annexation. Now we have a challenge to face. Russian economy this year cannot be in full swing in terms of productivity. Defense expenditure will go up, and next year possibly, if these issues are sorted out, then we can come to terms. When it comes to Brazil, it's slowing down. It is slowing down. It's a considerable slowdown. 2.2 to 2.4% is not significant. The economy as a whole has to reorganize in terms of overall fiscal consolidation, inflation, currency stability.
Could you tell us now about the outlook on MENA economies?
MENA economy between 3.5 to 3.7%, that includes the Gulf states, which has been very well set. Afghanistan and Pakistan is also inclusive when you say MENA, but these economies have to go for a huge geopolitical fix. Huge government public spending has to go on, controls, they have to go for defense expenditure, while urban development, major thrust on because the Gulf economies predominantly, major thrust on urbanization, airport, seaport, road, rail network. With the investable surplus, current account surplus these economies are generating, they have to invest in modernization, healthcare, education. That should stimulate the overall economic momentum.
Could you help us understand the outlook on the economy of the GCC states?
GCC should do 1 trillion rather, 700 billion. That's a significant amount in terms of world global growth. And next year it should move to 1748, or rather, and again 1750 or 1809 it will be the year after. And overall growth, if you look at it, 3.5% should be, and it might come down to 3%, perhaps 2.8% at later stage. The current account surplus, what they generate is 18%, 16%, and again 14% is the reflection we are going to see. GCC as a whole, this is a reflection. If you split the GCC, Qatar should be doing 214 billion, Saudi should be doing 744 billion, UAE should do 414 billion, and again Oman should do 80, Kuwait should do around 185 billion, next largest economy, and again 89 should be the gross domestic productivity for Oman, and 33 will be Bahrain. Summing it up, it should be 1700. That's commendable. All these economies are likely to run in current account surplus.
Could you tell us about the outlook on Qatar in specific?
Qatar economy is becoming stronger than ever. So this year the growth we are foreseeing between 3.5 to rather 5.9%. Next year 6%, 6.4% is what the trend we are seeing. 214 billion will be the gross domestic productivity, and it will go on accelerations with the gas price likely to go up, and oil price also stable and functional over $100 Brent as well as WTI. Now in terms of current account surplus, they are going to generate nearly 18%, next year 16% again, 25% rather the current year, and next year 22%, 20% is possible in terms of overall the current account surplus as a percentage of GDP. Inflation will be contained to 3.5, 3.6%, and it cannot be more than 3.6% in the next 3 years. With the projects coming up, modernization coming up, per capita moving in the right direction, you'll also have population growth between 2.2, 2.4, 2.6 is the definite possibility, but the economy is financially stable and functional, and it is going in the right direction.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Seetharaman.
Thank you.